Time is changing, and I'll remain the same. I'm just aging, and life's on the other side of
pain. What's up, guys? Welcome back. This is 30 Podcast, episode 9. Thank you for being here with us. We appreciate you. Monday, hot as hell in LA, but got the guys with me. You know, which we're getting through all of this. You want to catch up with us? The last episode, generational racism. If that's your cup of tea, you could listen to it on YouTube, and we thank you for being here and supporting us. Once again, the boys are back in town. Hope y'all had a great weekend. Fellas, how was your weekend?
The weekend was alright, subpar, but you know, ready to start the week off, fresh new week.
Yeah, so for me, it's been an interesting past 2 days. I've been very sick, and I had to leave work on Sunday because I got like a very bad tooth infection. It got really, really bad, so I'm still trying to recover from that right now at the moment.
You sound like 50.
Yeah, this is true.
I wish I had some 50 lines, man. But man, that's crazy. So you went to the hospital for that?
Yeah, so this kind of all stems into what I wanted to bring up today and talk about the effects of like drugs and like what it does to people and how it's changed my life dramatically and the issues that I'm going through as well. I've noticed that in order for me to ever feel relief, this has been going on for a long time, and I'm be very vulnerable with you guys in the aspect, even with the audience, that you know I suffer from addiction, and I it all started when I was very, very young. At the age of 15, I was getting my first like morphine drips, and at the time when this was happening, I never didn't think anything of it. Like it was what it was, and I thought I would be fine. But now that I look back at it now, and I'm 33, the journey that has been since then has been a very, very tough one, and it puts me in perspective of how right now I believe like one of the most popular drugs is fentanyl, and there's a lot of people that are dying because of it. One of our friends, Tag, shout out to Tags, I guess he had a friend that recently passed away from doing fentanyl, and all of these things kind of just came to mind, and thinking how sometimes some people could go 40-50 years taking one drug and have adverse effects, but they don't die, opposed to someone just doing it for a year and then a year later they pass away. So, and I was even thinking of I listened to the podcast of Joe Rogan and Kurt Angle, and I related a lot to Kurt Angle and what he was talking about. He was doing like pills very, very heavily, and of course, when I'm watching him wrestle and all this stuff, none of that comes to mind. I'm not thinking of him being on drugs or anything. But I understood that he had to do it to overcome a lot of things. I believe he had a broken neck and a lot of injuries. And the misconception of people going through taking these opioid pills is that people think it gets you groggy or it gets you very lazy and sleepy or whatnot. It has a reverse effect on a lot of people and a lot of athletes as well. That it gives them the opposite effect. It gives them energy, it gives them the ability to do things. And I relate to that a lot because when I'm in pain, I don't want to do anything. And then when I take these things, it just gives me that burst to overcome them and do them. So the reason why I bring all this up is I think all of us here on this podcast had experience with different types of drugs, and for me it was having a medical condition that introduced drugs to me, So I wanted to see how it affect everybody else here on the panel, and if you guys can kind of like share your story of what drug got introduced to you and how it changed your life and it affected you in any way up until the present moment.
Um, well, I guess I could start with that because I was the most experimental. I feel like out of all of us when it came to drugs, I worked at a nightclub in West Hollywood, so it was easy access to it. For me, I think that's when I was introduced to like all like the meth and the special K and um, some very strong ecstasy. But at the end of the day, the thing I'll touch on that a little bit more, but you said fentanyl earlier, and my cousin died of that 2 years ago,
Mm,
and ever since then, I I won't even like if like how people casually do coke. I remember I was one of those people. If it's at a party, maybe like I'll do a line or do a bump, but no, I will never do it again. Like never ever do it again.
mm,
And I guess the death didn't it didn't take the death, but it just kind of woke me up. Like things have changed. You know what I mean? Like it's
mm-hmm,
not like it wasn't bad before. When you brought up Kurt Angle, as you know, I'm a wrestling fan, so he was actually dubbed Perk Angle at one point because of what
mm,
he was doing.
mm,
But at the end of the day, this man had a gang of surgeries on his neck, not just wrestled with a broken neck in the Olympics and won gold medal, but he wrestled and against some ferocious guys in the WWE and put his body on the line. But I also wanted to bring up Lynn Bias, who never even got a chance to play in the NBA because he died of a coke
mm,
overdose,
mm-hmm.
right?
I do remember that, yeah.
So, hmm so for me, I'll go back to my drug use in West Hollywood at the nightclub. It was started off as I thought it was casual coke. I was getting it supplied from a busboy, and one day I did it, and it burned the hell out of my nose. And I was like, "What?" It felt like shards going up like my nose, and I just couldn't believe it. I didn't know what to like think. And then when I asked him, well, he didn't. I even asked him because he had very little English. But I just kept taking it. Then the next time, I guess he did. I guess he wanted to mention, hey, it's not coke, it's glass. Like he kind of. So I was like, fuck, all right. So, but then he handed me a pipe, and then I was like, oh, okay. So went in the bathroom, started doing it, and then I looked in the mirror and I see myself about to like before I hit it. It reminded me of Pookie,
Mm-hmm,
from New Jack City, and I was like,
mm-hmm,
wow, what the fuck am I doing? So I put the pipe down and I put out a credit card and smashed that shit up and snorted it.
mm,
And I felt way better. But after that, bro, I don't know. It's just like I think where it came to an end was I used to do it with my ex-girlfriend, and it wasn't like we did it habitually, but we did it like like over the weekend or something, like a weekend randomly or something. But
yeah.
I remember we would go to an STP, and if you guys don't know what an STP is, it's a secret tweaker pad. Uh, Sublime made that phrase popular, but
Only real
we would go
tweakers know
to
that.
the secret.
Only real tweakers know
Word
that
up,
saying.
word up. So we go to a secret tweaker pad, and it was like pretty much a garage house, and I just remember just zoning out on like wrestling themes while they're over there like plotting and scheming and drawing. But I think remember one night I went there and it just the high was not there anymore. It was just like an annoyance. Like I was annoyed to be there. I just wanted to go home. And I went home and I was like the last time I ever touched it. And
Mm,
I'm glad because now if I ever see it, I get this nasty pregame. Like I want to throw up and I have diarrhea. I literally have to use the bathroom as soon as I see it. Like it's crazy. And it's because I remember all of the symptoms that came with it. Like after the 6 hours of just being high on it, you just have this immediate body pain because it suppresses everything in your body.
mm-hmm,
So out of all the hectic drugs, I'll say that I did meth a lot, like, but not enough to say that I was addicted to it, but enough to be like, wow, you kind of just casually a meth head.
mm.
The only reason we're all together today is because of drugs.
It's interesting you say that, Michael. The reason why I have 2 points that I want to bring up. I've noticed that even for me, because I think we can all relate. in the sense of I think we're very experimental. We've all tried different drugs. For me, opioids has been the strongest one out of all of them because I used to do coke, I used to do crack, and this kind of ties up into one of our last episodes. You guys should go check it out, where we're talking about shame and fear, and Brandon mentioned it, that he said that I'm not I'm could be misquoting, but he talked about how the death of his cousin, it kind of put something in your mind, and I would say fear, in the sense of it puts you self-aware of it and kind of pushed you to not want to do those things anymore. And so I wanted to ask Michael, because I think I remember, if I'm correctly, Michael saying that you shouldn't have fear or you shouldn't have shame for these things. So how does one go about it if they are addicted to a drug? How should they go about it without having shame or fear?
The only
Real
way.
fast, and just ask on, bro, I'm sorry guys, real fast, you can ask the question again, Jay. What I meant by that was, I agree with what you're saying, because it was like, it broke that invisible, like that impervious line of invincibility. Like, oh, I could do this. I'm straight. I'm straight. Then all of a sudden, boom, someone close to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, gets hit by something that you
Mm-hmm.
kind of dabbled in. And you're just like, hey, wait a minute. Like, hold up. If he probably thought he was invincible, I thought I was invincible. Come on now.
Mm-hmm. Mike.
Yeah. So the sorry, what was the question again?
So the question was more along the lines, if and like I said, I could be misquoting you, but I do believe you talked about how having shame and having fear is not a good thing and it's not from God. So how does one overcome these things without having shame or fear? And when I talk about fear, fear in a
I
good
get
way
you.
of
I
pushing
hear what
you
you're
away
saying.
from doing it.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think that, well, I don't think, I know that the only way to overcome these things is is to um to look at them, is to have them appear for you, as in you have to be aware of those things. You have to be aware you're using drugs. I think there's levels. There's people who use drugs and say, but it makes me a better person. So that's a level you have to overcome there. You're not quite developed to understand the second level, which is, I'm not saying you, just those people who believe that
Mm-hmm.
the drug makes them better people. You're not developed enough to understand the second part. The second part is, I do it because I like the feeling. I do it because my ego tells me to do it. When you're honest like that, there is no shame in that. How there is no shame in honesty. When you're honest with yourself, hey, I am this. That's not shameful. I think it's shameful when you're trying to hide from the obvious. So that's shameful, to do an act like that, where it's kind of cowardice to look everywhere else but where the actual problem is. So once you
What if
start.
what if you just what
Go,
if you don't want to be ridiculed?
say that again.
What if you don't want to be ridiculed?
By who?
Just like that's the reason for you,
Oh, for using
saying, like
drugs
you're
is because you
saying.
don't like to be ridiculed?
No, for she's saying hiding it. You're saying, like not being honest with yourself on why you're
Oh, you have to
actually
be honest
using
with
it.
yourself and nobody else. People have nothing to offer. They cannot help you, and all they're gonna do when you tell them your problems is judge you. So, if you got a girlfriend out there, or a wife or whatever, I suggest you never tell her anything that's going on with you. They don't understand it. If you have a real good friend, maybe you could talk to him, but you never tell a woman anything that has to do with man shit. If you're going through
Wow, that shit scared the fuck out of me.
You never tell a woman your
That shit's
problems.
loud though.
I'm trying to lower it, but on my side it's low. Go to the soundboard volume. It might be all the way up. But anyway, you never tell a woman your problems because she can't do nothing for you. She can't help you. Almost the same as no other man could help you or do anything for you. These things you're gonna have to overcome yourself. But I'm saying being honest with yourself, that's gonna help you overcome. That's how I was able to overcome. I overcame using like coke and stuff like that as a young guy. But like I said from the beginning, our relationship is based on drugs. What I mean by that, we met smoking weed. We continued to smoke weed, and this is where we became friends. Um, and all of us, bro. You know what I'm saying? We would go play ball. Ball is another type of, somewhat of a drug. You know, we're all doing the same drugs, and that's why we continue to do the same drugs. That's why we could, and by drugs, it's like quote unquote, you know, it's other shit that I consider drugs as well. But it's just being honest with yourself. I think that's where the revelation and the help, you feel me, the help from God comes, when you start to kind of just be honest with yourself. Hey, I do this because of this. Hey, I like that because I like that. You feel me?
So does that still apply with guys that are or people that are murderers or pedophiles? That's the same thing that they would have to do, is just admit that that's how they are and that's who they are.
Like, are you saying, should those people be able to live with themselves and not feel shame?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Right.
You are nobody to judge anybody else's sins. As a human courtesy is what I'm saying, not as a religious Bible thumping angle. I'm trying to tell you, let's keep it 100. We've all made mistakes. Do you want your faith to be like ruined by the people, or do you want to be forgiven? So if we come down to the decision that we want to be forgiven for what we've done, then we must forgive what people do. It's
But
not
9 out of 10 people are not gonna forgive. What they do is they want to see people burned at the stake.
I know,
dog.
but
Like,
that'll be their faith. You live by the blade, you die by the blade, or you live by the gun, you die by the gun. So if you want to live judging and thinking you're better than the pedophile, you're better than the killer, you're better than the gangbanger, you're better than whoever, then that'll be your faith when they see you less than them. That's just a spiritual thing. It's
Well,
not.
go
ahead.
I'm sorry. I wouldn't say so much that I think that I'm better than them, but to me it feels like you're adding every single bad thing as the same. Like there's not one worse than the other.
I don't believe there
And
is,
to
but
me,
that's my belief.
I find it hard to believe that someone that does, for example, lie or is a compulsive liar
Yeah.
is the same as someone that's molesting kids and hurting kids. And you're just saying, well, you shouldn't judge him, and you're right, you shouldn't judge him, but at the same time, it needs to be.
It's the same,
It needs.
if not worse, what that guy's doing, the liar.
Yeah, no, I would disagree. It's not the same at all, and that's why there's levels to. You mentioned it to yourself. There's different levels to
I feel
this.
like it's a different take on how you should like kind of like not judge someone, because it's like almost like asking a super alpha straight guy to try to judge a gay marriage. You know what I mean? It's gonna be hard for him to try and walk that fine line. Like, I could get where he's coming from by saying that there's like you don't want to judge the person for his crimes and stuff like that. But I'm also getting where, the other part of it means like, well, you can't compare stealing a piece of bubble gum to, what I'm saying, killing a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's where our confliction comes from inside.
I think it's all about the heart, and the heart is the determining factor. You could wish death on somebody without having to kill them. You're just as evil. What makes you better? What makes you better? If you wish death on people but you're not actually killing them, you think you're any better?
Well, nobody's wishing death
I
on
was
those
just
people.
playing. I'm just wishing death. I'm not actually doing it.
Just play GTA 6.
I you know what I'm saying? Like there is no difference to me. I don't think you could cut the baby in half on this one. We must do this in order to understand. We cannot have, oh, that's a different level of the devil. Like, we cannot. There's all in the same hell, bro. It's all in the same hell. To me, I mean, that's my take. I give
That's
myself.
the Greek. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, that's what Hades is. Everyone together.
At the end of the day, right? Like, everyone goes to hell, or at least according to the to the word. So, I'm just kind of confused, thinking that there's different types of burning in hell. Even though
No,
I think the Bible does talk about that, but that's another day.
yeah, no. So once again, I understand and I get where you're coming from, but at the same time, it's easier said to. It's easier said that, oh well, you shouldn't judge him because you're no better and all that. Yeah, I agree. I am no better. I understand that, but at the same time, I want them to know and understand that what they're doing is still wrong, and some of these people will never see it like that. They'll never see what they're doing is wrong. To them, they're doing the right thing. Some people kill and they believe that they're doing it to
Yeah.
be righteous. And the same people that
Yeah,
go
like cops.
to wars and armies, they think they're killing for a right reason. And to me, that doesn't matter. Killing is killing.
Yeah.
So it just, all I'm
It's like
saying
the
is that,
abortions. It's like everything is just in the same bubble, bro. How many abortions are happening here? You know what I'm saying? Are those people in jail? No.
well, no, because see, abortion is not viewed as killing.
So because it's legal, or it's some type of law, that doesn't mean take the sting out of murder, for whatever the case might be.
Okay, so take that for example. I believe that if they want to have an abortion and kill their baby, they have every right to do it. But I'm still going to
In what
mention and say that,
circumstances is it not okay to kill somebody?
Do you not believe in frontier justice?
Because I believe in that too. If someone's taking over, bro, someone breaks into my house, I'm offing it, and I ain't got no
but you
feelings about it.
but how come you don't stop and tell them, hey, dog, you're robbing my house,
If
but I'm
somebody
not here to
runs
judge
in
you.
with a fucking machete,
That's what I'm trying to get at. Like you said, oh, we shouldn't judge them, and we
you
should
don't judge
understand
them,
them.
but there's consequences for your actions. I never said there's no consequences for your actions. In this world,
Yeah, you
you'll
break in
pay.
the house, you're getting you'll get.
I never said, hey, there's no pedophiles should be free, or killers should roam around. Forgive them. No, that's not my take.
Okay, well, it
you
sounded
gotta-
like that's what
You
you're.
got it. It's not professional. You got to twist it. What I'm saying, I never. How did what I said sound like I'm for fucking killers running around and doing whatever the fuck they want?
Because you're telling them not to have shame or
Who?
fear of these things.
You're over here sounding like a '90s RoboCop.
Me? No, but what I'm saying is this.
No, I'm just.
What I'm saying is this. Yeah, somebody is attacking me. I have to defend myself. I am not.
But the
100
words
I'm
doesn't
not.
say
I'm not
to do
level
that.
100 Christian, bro. I'm not turning the other cheek. You feel me? Like, I'm not level 100 Christian. About a 78. You know what I mean? But anyway, they attacked me. I'm offing it. And that's just something I'm gonna have to live with. But you have the right to defend yourself. It's common sense. I never agreed with not defending yourself. Like I know my mom used to talk. She'll talk to me about like, no, you gotta turn the other cheek, son. You know, if somebody is mean to you, turn the other cheek. You know, somebody hits you, even if they hit you, just don't hit them. You know, turn the other cheek. I was like, yeah, fucking right. I was like, if my daughter is outside and you're seeing her get jumped, you're gonna turn the other cheek? And she just starts smiling like, hell no, I'm gonna run in there, bro. We're getting down. So if someone's hitting Brandon, I'm not turning the other cheek, dog. We're gonna get down. And maybe later we understand why you did what you did, you know, but. And I hold no anger against those people. I understand why you might have gone angry or some shit. I could understand that.
That's kind of crazy though that you would back up Brandon, but you wouldn't back me up. That is insane.
What do you mean?
That is pretty crazy. The reason why I say that is because I'll never forget this day. We were at
Man.
Go ahead.
we were at a park. We were playing ball, and I had got into it with one of the guys. And the guy was like, he got all crazy and he was trying to get crazy with me. And I remember you saying, hey dog, that's between you and him, dog. Don't get me involved in this. And that kind of hurt me a little bit. I was like, what do you mean? Like, I'm
Why?
not asking you to like fight my battle, but at the same time, if you see him attacking me,
You know
or
why I
doing
said
something to
that?
me, you're not
'Cause
gonna like.
You know why I said that? Because you were looking for a fight you were gonna lose. So I was saving your ass. I was telling you, watch your mouth, bro, because this shit's gonna it's gonna pop off.
But
You
defending
had a
myself.
loud mouth. I remember that day, and I remember what he did to you. You started you started like playing super defense on him, and that motherfucker clamped your hand and rode you around the fucking
No,
court, bro.
that's not what I'm
This
talking.
was-
I'm not talking about that day.
That's
I know
the
what
day
you're
I
talking
told
about.
you that.
No, no. This was literally. I remember exactly what happened. He had went up for a layup, and I know you're talking about Indio. I
But
remember
that's
that
when I
day.
told you that.
No. This was at the other park, the one that has the little track outside where you run.
What?
Yeah, this was
You're
inside
talking about
the
Silver
gym.
Lake.
No.
Oh,
No.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
what happened?
Anyways, the point is that, and I was joking about this because you said, "Oh, you get Brandon's back right now," and I
Nah, it
remember
sounded like a
that day
joke
you
to
did-
me. Even Brandon went like, here comes.
Well, because it's long gone. That already happened.
Okay,
You
go
know.
ahead.
But in the
Go
back of my mind, like,
In the back of my mind.
I always thought that no matter what, if I'm with my friends and someone's doing to something, regardless if it's my issue or not, I'm gonna protect you. I'm gonna do my best. I may not even do the best of job, but if someone's hurting Brandon, I'm gonna get in. Or someone talking shit to Brandon, I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna protect him because I'm with him. I came with him, and he's my friend.
I don't agree on that.
You made it seem like, oh no,
if you're
like,
looking for a fight, then you're gonna find
Was
a
it
fight.
just you two that day?
yeah, it was just me and
No,
him
but
that
they
day.
weren't ganging on. I think I don't know what he's talking about, but I thought that you were talking about the Indio one. Because I
No,
remember being
no.
at Lafayette telling you this same thing. I was
No.
telling you, I was like, hey, bro, watch your. I don't know if I said watch your mouth, but I said something like watch how you're talking, bro, because these was.
But we
you're gonna
all
get into a
talk
fight,
shit,
you're gonna
though.
lose. But
That's part
it
of
was
the
getting
game.
heated though, like a fight
that's
was
part of
gonna
the
break
game.
out,
That's part of the game.
and a fight did
Yeah.
break out, but you just didn't fight back.
Nobody swung. What are you talking about?
The guy clamped your hand, bro, and he rode you
Yeah,
around,
no.
almost dislocated
Yeah,
your fucking shoulder.
no, yeah, but okay, that's not a fight. That was like a tussle.
What
if
the fuck
anything.
is that then?
A tussle,
Why'd
like
you
I
You guys
get
were
said.
rodeoed?
playing? What'd you get?
How'd you get rodeoed?
I'm trying to say. What I'm saying.
I tried to go to steal the ball. He put his arm in between my arm and he started pulling it. But that was it. It wasn't. Nobody was swinging. Nobody was.
No,
It
but I'm
wasn't a
saying
fight,
he
bro.
did that trying to start a fight with you. It wasn't. Oh, you guys were playing or what? Oh, we just
Look,
playing, guys. Come on.
Point.
My point was this. Hold on. My point is this. You said that. You brought up a point that didn't even hold up. What I was saying is, if Brandon is looking for a fight with somebody and is carrying himself like that, I'm gonna warn him. Hey, you're looking for a fight that you might fucking lose. If you get your ass kicked, that's on you. Why would I fight his fight?
It's not about fighting his fight.
It is about fighting.
There's always
Man's gotta
there's
fight
a
their own fight.
there's a principle of
If I get
things.
down, I'm not expecting Brandon to come and rush and help me.
Yeah, because that's the difference. We think differently. No matter what, even if I think Brandon is wrong, if I think Brandon started the whole situation, I'm still gonna be there to help him, regardless of the fact. You don't have to agree with me, but at the same time,
Yeah.
this is what separates us. It's the fact that he started talking shit, and because no, dog, like to me that doesn't matter.
You're
If
playing
Brandon
mama,
started
that's
the
what
fight,
you're doing.
no,
You cannot save
no,
people from
no.
their faith, bro. If your homie wants to get down with somebody, what does that have to do with you?
No, if he wants to
Like,
get
it's
down,
good-
if he wants to
hold
get
on,
down,
hold
that's
on
fine.
there. No, hold on now. Because what's going on here is I think you're missing the point too. If it's a one-on-one fade, I'm not jumping in, G. If I see the other homie's about to get in,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna let you get jumped.
right. That's
like,
the
that's
difference.
Period. I'm not gonna let you get jumped. So I think maybe you're thinking that's what he was like. I don't know if he saw you about to get
Man,
a
that'll be
one-on-one.
some sucker shit if you
Like,
guys are
that's what
getting
it
jumped
was,
and I walk
yeah.
away from you guys.
I don't know about that.
Trying to save my own ass. I think that's sucker shit.
Yeah.
But if
the end of
if
the
you
day,
looking if
if it's a
JC's
one-on-one,
looking for
bro,
a fight and he's out in fucking
I only-
Lafayette starting some shit with somebody and he's backing it up, right? He's talking back. JC's probably thinking it's basketball, but the other person's thinking I'm gonna fight you right now. And if he swings on you and you guys start getting in a fight, that's just a fair fight. You
one-on-one.
look for
That's
it.
it. I don't
Yeah.
expect nobody to come in. If it's me, and I got some beef that and like every time what's his name Monte with like when he wanted to fight me that one time, I didn't expect y'all to just hey dog don't talk to the homie like that. I was like fuck, I have to fight this.
You got to
Like,
stand
I
up
know
for
I had to,
yourself, right?
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I'm not gonna fight your fight. Like, dude, some guys fuck trying to get down with me. I'm not gonna put you in a situation like, hey, come on, though, you gotta have to take a beating with me. Like, it's just a situation you put yourself on. Low key, that's why we stopped going to Lafayette. Shit was a fight every other game. Like, I couldn't play that game, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be there, starting fights, talking shit. That shit got boring fast, bro. The side is very hostile over there, Lafayette. Shout out Lafayette, though. I love it. Actually, where I met Brandon, if I'm not mistaken.
Lafayette race.
Lafayette, all those years ago. Love it. But yeah, JC, that's my take on that. But I like that. I like that you're willing to go out like that.
You disconnected?
No, he's
No,
right
I'm
there.
here.
Let's give him a round of applause.
I don't have nothing more to say about that. I will stand on it. I'll disagree. I don't think that's that to me is being solid. But you guys don't have to agree with what I'm saying, so it's fine.
Amazing. Let's I actually want to hear that in the comments. You guys who heard this right now, some good topics. I like to hear what you guys think about it. Will you jump in if your friend is looking for a fight and gets the fade? Are you jumping in, or are you letting him handle his own business? I like to see the ratio of that. I think there's a way to put a poll on this video. No, some type of way to put a poll.
I think you can, yeah.
Yeah, I like to. I'm gonna do some shit like that. Like put a poll and maybe people could answer. Let the homie fight or jump in and fight with him. You're gonna jump the guy. So I want to see that. Anyway, well, I do want to touch on this. We kind of touched on it yesterday, but I'll touch on it a little bit. It's the thrills. The thrills. I think along with Lafayette playing basketball there, I do get the feeling that I like to used to get the thrill from there too. Like it was tense in there. It was a big show happening there. Everybody came out. It was in the middle of Wilshire, right in the middle of traffic. So it's a very nice park, and you get a thrill from playing there. And Brandon was telling me about his thrills and what he gets a thrill out of. Come to find out, like everything we almost do is a thrill. Whether it be trying to get a girl, trying to go out and work out. All these things give you thrills, and it's just interesting. I like to get you guys' take on what is a thrill you think, a thrill that you look for in your daily basis.
I guess that's kind of hard because I don't really look for a daily thrill. But maybe there are things that I do look forward to during the day, but for a daily thrill, no. But do I like seek some sort of excitement? Is something like kind of risque? Yes, I do, definitely. That's what makes it makes worth living.
So like thrills could be like, the occasional beer, occasional blood. Those are thrills.
Yeah, no, I would have to disagree. I don't think that's a thrill. It's just
You know what I mean?
an everyday
Mundane
thing
thing.
that people do. Mundane, yeah. It's not. I mean, it may be in the very beginning when you're first doing it. It may be a thrill when you're first trying something out and you've never done it before. Like when I first started smoking weed, yeah, it was a thrill for me. I was excited. I was like, oh man, this is fun. Like I was seeking it every single time when we would go out to a house party. But after a while, it's not the same. Just like you do when you do anything, it becomes mundane.
A personal question for you guys. I'm sorry, YouTube. I don't want to talk like this, but is like jacking off and all that for you guys a thrill, or is it just a daily if you guys do that at all, if you want to share
Well, it
at all.
depends how long. It depends how long have you been doing it. If you've been doing it since your teenage years, I would assume it's almost like
It's
making
no
a piece
longer a
of
thrill.
toast. Yeah.
Is it really? Does it get to that point, or is it always fresh?
I don't know. It might be fresh when you have. It's like putting down. When you stop doing something for a while and then you do it again. That's as fresh as it gets. But it's never gonna be like the first time.
Mm.
So
Yeah, same. It's not. It's it's almost like a chore at one point. It's like it is what it is, but I don't think of it as it being a thrill.
Yeah. It's so funny because if you listen to the pod that me and Jay did, the generational trauma middle school love letters, that one, we started like name dropping and stuff, but it's so funny because like I was at the Ross one day. It was back in the day, and one of my homies, his name's Eddie. Shout out DJ Hyphy out there. I didn't want to name drop, but this was the funniest story. And he goes, he says, "Oh, what's up, bro? Oh, what's up?" It's like, "Hey, fool, I lost my virginity." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, with I'll bleep it out, but Belen." And he said that he had gone to her house, and that they went to her house, and that he got laid, and he's all like, "Yeah, bro, it was intense. And keep in mind, bro, I never jacked off. So when I busted, I was like, oh." I was like, "Oh shit." I was like, "Oh, that's cool." He's like, "Yeah, all right, bro." And that's the last time I ever saw him. Shout out DJ Hyphy. Give him a round of applause.
well,
Yeah.
he definitely told the wrong guy the wrong. So, hey, Doc, you keep it.
And Ross of all places, you feel me? Like,
No,
man.
going back to
Wait.
Go ahead.
In Ross. It was in Ross.
Yeah, in Ross, I was shopping, the one right there by the Grove, and he just popped out of nowhere with the biggest smile in his face.
Chatty Cathy's.
I try to tell you, we're like two white women, and yeah, bro, we're holding up the aisle and everything. But no, anyway, what you're saying, JC?
I'm going back to the thrill seeking thing. When people are seeking a thrill, it's a consistent high of doing random things and different things all the time. You see it when people parachute, bungee jump, rock climb. They do these things to seek. It's an adrenaline. It's going back to the same thing with drugs. It's reaching a drug. It's one of the most famous saying is when you're on crack is my mom mentioned it. Shout out to my mom, rest in peace. She said you would be chasing the dragon. You're always chasing for that first hit, that first initial taste, and you will never, ever get it again. It's like chasing the dragon. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So people will find other things and other aspects to try to find that and try to see like, well, I've done skydiving. Maybe I should jump off a mountain.
Yeah.
I jumped off a mountain. What if I,
Yeah, I broke 3
jump off
bones.
a
What if
fucking-
I go swimming with the sharks now?
exactly. So that's I
Hey,
think for
but,
me
bro,
thrill seeking.
You just made a good. Well, your mom just made a good point. Shout out to her. But she made a good point. It's like chasing the dragon, but you'll never catch up to it or find it. Oh, actually, you'll never find it. But I just realized that is the beginning and ending of every drug, including the so-called like thing we call love between a man and a woman. That's the same thing, bro. You're looking for the first feeling of love you've ever had in a bunch of different girls, but you're never gonna find it because the drug was already set you down a goose chase. It was never gonna, even the premises that you thought that person was your love of your life, that thought alone is the drug. Because now you can't move forward. You're looking for other things, and everything you do is you trying to go back to that original feeling. And that original feeling is what we had when we were kids. Before the trauma, before the humiliation rituals, before the drug abuse and stuff. So to this day, we're trying to get back to that first feeling. And we do a bunch of scary shit to try to find it. Pornography that gets degrading by the day. Y'all listening?
Yeah, we're listening.
Y'all
We're
hear
waiting
me?
for you to.
No, I know. I'm talking to the crowd.
I thought there's a point that
I'm
you're
talking
getting
to
to.
the crowd. No, I'm talking to you too. Y'all listening? You feel me? That the porn's getting more degrading. It's because you're trying to go back to feeling like a kid before the bullshit. But like that point, you're chasing the dragon. It's not there no more. You gotta find peace where you're at now. And that's the key, I think, is when you start to try to find peace where you're at that moment. And honestly, that's how I was able to drop weed for half a year. It's because I had become at peace with where I was at that moment. I don't know if you guys ever told you guys this. I'm pretty sure I told you the story of me quitting weed, but it was like I call it the week in hell because I lost sleep all week. I couldn't sleep all week. I had night sweats. I was hearing demons. It was getting very biblical in there in my room. And after all that, I had the best sleep on a Friday night, and I dropped weed for 6 months, bro. That was my biggest vice. And I was able, not I, but God was able to take it away from me for 6 months. And guess what I learned in those 6 months, bro? That there is no gift. There is no reward. There is no difference. I don't even remember what I did. I don't remember what I did those 6 months. Somebody who couldn't stay still had to smoke a bowl, had to light up. What did that guy do for 6 months? Well, I can't even really tell you. Actually, what I did do was kind of pick up mountain biking, but then I learned how to take a bike apart and put it back together. But I mean, really, that didn't take up 6 months worth of time. But I didn't even film. I didn't even substitute anything I was doing with that. I just kind of try to be myself every day, and at one point it just became like every day, bro. But I realized that the weed was hiding a deeper problem, and I had to work on that. So I continue to work on that, and yeah, I mean, that's my point. Like, everything is trying to get back to being a kid. Everything you do, that's the reality. You guys gotta come to see that yourselves, though. Like, it needs to be revealed to you. You're doing all
Oh,
these
that's
things.
not something I'm not that I that I hide. I know that. That's why I like nostalgia. That's why I like drinking a beer, eating a slice of pizza, and playing 2K, because that's what I did when I would come home from my first year as working. First year working, could afford to get all these things. So I'm like, you know what? Independence. Grab
Yeah.
a personal pan, grab a sixer, and then go play 2K16. Like, all
Yeah.
right, and then play career mode, and it's just like, oh yeah, this is living.
Mm-hmm. I was playing 2K last night. Funny you say that. I ran the of course, Boston against the Bulls. Bulls sweat me. Not sweat me, but 3 minutes to go. They just go up by 10. I was like, yeah. But I know what you mean. You play things. I play these games to go back. I played that game yesterday to have a nostalgic feeling.
Well, I believe it's we talk about nostalgia feeling, but I mean, I think you might have mentioned it. Like, we think about the past and all that stuff, and think about what we did as a kid, but that doesn't exist anymore. So it's almost along the same thing as a drug. You just want to chase that same feeling that you had once before, and it doesn't happen anymore. Sure, you can kind of replicate it, and it's similar. It feels familiar to you, but it's not really the same anymore. I am a person that loved to live in the past. All my experiences, everything. When I worked at the shop, all I can do was talk about the shop because it was a great moment in my life. It was a great time in my life. It was the most meaningful part of my life.
It's the last time I saw you
was-
smiling.
I was popular. I was talking. I was known. I had all this power. Well, supposedly what I think power, influence, and all this stuff. Like, it just meant a lot to me. I smile sometimes, Michael. Come on, don't
No,
say
I'm saying that's the last time I
smile.
said it. Come on, it's a joke, dog. Come on.
But when we don't have a purpose, then we're always finding other things to give us the purpose that we have, or to give us some type of purpose that we may need or we feel like we're lacking. I also too stopped smoking weed, but at the same time, I think we had mentioned this to you. Like, we drop one vice and pick up another. And so, are we ever truly free from these vices? No, I don't think so. I think we just, one gets outplayed, or it gets overrated or outdated, and we pick up something else that becomes the new vice that we have. And when you had stopped smoking weed, it kind of motivated me to stop smoking weed as well.
Yes, sir.
And I think about all these drugs that I've done before in the past, and like I mentioned since the very beginning, the opioid and the painkillers have been the most. I was able to stop crack. I was and coke, and I think those are pretty heavy drugs considering. And I look back at myself, man. I didn't think I was able to, especially the crack. The crack and smoking P dogs was one of the most addicting things ever.
P Diddy's.
The P dogs
Did you
were
ever
the
smoke a P
most.
Diddy with Junior?
No,
Oh, okay.
that was
Too later on.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Well,
see.
you guys were doing it way before I
Yeah,
started
I
doing
see.
it.
I remember. I kind of remember when you told me you started to do it. Sometimes you'd be on that shit when we go ball, no?
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy ass. So how the fuck you ball on that?
Yeah, I didn't know either. I really didn't.
It,
Yeah,
it reminds
I
me
don't know
of
how it's possible.
there was this one time, bro. Like I'm not trying to say names. We dropping names like a motherfucker in this pod, but one of the guys I know, there was a big scandal, right, in the community, I guess, of friends that we have, and some people came out to be like bisexual or something, and it was a big deal, and a rumor had spread, and basically one of those guys hits me up out of the blue after like he went into hiding for a couple months. He just hits me out of the blue like, "Oh, where you at?" And he kind of hit me up on that coke energy, you feel me? Like, and I was like, "Where you at?" And I was like, "Hey, what's up, bro? You know, how you been?" He's like, "Yeah, where you at?" And I was like, "I'm right here at Lafayette. I'm about to ball." He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna shoot through. I don't want to ball." I was like, "All right, fool, come through, you know." That fool gets over here somehow. I don't know how the fuck he made it onto our fives, and this fool dribbles to the corner and like gets pushed out just with some heavy defense, and this was playing coke the fuck out. And then I just look at him like, what the fuck is this fool doing? It's like if something tells me this fool came to fight me, assuming he probably thought I was the one that said that rumor, but it's not true. I didn't. But he probably thought I said something about him, or I don't know. It was he was coked the fuck out though. That shit was crazy, and that fool just left after we lost. He just left. Crazy.
I remember that day I was there.
Oh, you were there, huh?
Yeah, I remember. You're talking about Full Sweat. It's fine. We can name drop it and give a fuck.
Okay.
The thing is that and it always goes back to the thoughts. I think those thoughts you were having, I don't think they were real, but I can see why you may feel that way or you think that way. But I don't really genuinely think that he was there because he was mad at you or whatever, because I don't think he would have played. It was weird, don't get me wrong, the whole thing was weird, and I hadn't seen him since years, since high
Yeah.
school, so him being there was a little off, but no, I don't think he was there for any like malice or bad reason.
Yeah.
I think he wanted to reincorporate himself with people, and since whatever that rumor was about him or whatever, and maybe he thought like we were judgy or
So
we were judgy
yeah.
or whatever the case may be, that it just made him feel uncomfortable
Yeah,
and he
so
left.
the thoughts were killing him. Like, that's why he was
Absolutely.
jittery. Because he thought people were... See, that's the thing. I wasn't even judging him. I didn't even think that shit was true. It was just a stupid rumor people spread. So to me, I wasn't even like, oh yeah, this was, you know, I never thought that. Not even with the other guy that I don't want to name drop, but you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like I didn't think that with him either. So it's crazy. The thoughts have you acting like a fool out there. You feel me? Crazy, guys. You know what? Real quick, I do want to touch on this. So yesterday, Sunday, I watched the Indiana Fever go against Chicago Sky,
God.
and it was the first ever WNBA game I've ever watched from beginning to end.
Where have you been, though? Honestly, how is that the very first game we've ever seen in your life?
I
I've
don't
been
know.
watching that.
The hype is real. Caitlin Clark and you know what I'm saying? Angel Reese, they're going back and forth. And you know what? I'm so grateful that the final score is 88-87 Chicago. Angel Reese had like a 25-point game, 13 rebounds. I think what's her face? Caitlin Clark, 17 points, like 14 dimes, crazy numbers. But the thing is like I'm so glad this is just like all this is just benefiting WNBA. Like it's giving them the attention they never had before. But it's just I'm grateful that Caitlin Clark didn't just win like nothing. I'm glad that there's two of them. That there's a rivalry. Brandon had brought this up in our personal conversations that they're like the Magic and Bird of the WNBA.
It's a big stretch.
What I'm saying is remember they had promo that shit when that first happened. Magic and Bird, they're coming from the college. They even have a similar path.
I said, I didn't say they're like. I said they're marketing them like Magic and Bird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're marketing them like Magic and Bird, and I'm grateful, and I'm happy that you know that Reese won the game, and she seemed to be very happy about it. She took some tough shots, made them to put them up by 2, and I think that Indiana missed a couple of easy layups under the basket in crunch time that ultimately cost them the game, but. And of course, Caitlin now they're saying fire Indiana Fever's coach. You know what I mean? Like whoever thought there would be headlines saying fire the Indiana Fever's WNBA coach? So everything revolves around Caitlin at this point, and she's fine as hell. But I'm grateful that there's two of them. I think that there's more where that came from. So that was my take, and I was excited to see a WNBA game. They play great basketball, in my eyes. I don't know how people feel about it. I thought that they were rugged. It felt like a coin toss. It felt like, man, it could be anybody's game.
I'll say this. The NBA and WNBA, one's a sport and one's a joke. Honestly. But I will leave you with this. It's not...
That's cool, Jay. You don't think they're gonna give you buckets if you ever were playing again? You don't think they'd give you buckets?
Oh, hold on.
I don't think they're a joke.
Hold on.
I think he said the NBA was the joke.
No, stop. I got it from The Office. It was a joke from The Office. Don't take it too serious. No, it's not real. It's not. I don't. You watching WNBA is not real until I've gone to like 3-4 Sparks game. Personally, live. I've gotten to see them when Candace Parker was there because I loved Candace Parker. I thought Candace Parker was the shit.
Candace Parker is a fine.
And the dude she married was horrible. Oh my god, I can't believe she married that nigga. Anyways, the point is, what I'm saying is that, these girls can ball without a doubt. I've been watching the WNBA. It didn't have to take Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese for me to be convinced. The only reason why it became at that level because they started doing it from the college level. The college girls basketball wasn't really talked about a lot, at least from my understanding, and so that's why it picked up from college, then transferred to the WNBA. And let's not forget, Kobe was doing, like I said, I mentioned this before. Kobe was a pioneer for this. He was taking his daughter. She was the little black mamba. She had her little highlights. She was doing good. These girls can play without a doubt, bro. But the fall of the WNBA is going to be reliant on the WNBA itself. If they don't succeed or they don't do what they got to do in order to elevate their game, that's on them. It's nobody else's fault. The fan base of the NBA is different because, and Bill Burr he mentioned this too. He's like, it's because the fans care. The fans are like the guys give a fuck about the guys playing. There's women that like watching the WNBA, but they don't care enough to invest themselves. You don't see them painting their stomachs or painting their faces and be like, yeah, getting drunk. It's just not the same. It doesn't translate the same.
My girl just
So
got there. Give her some time.
no, until it gets to that point where the fans care enough like that, where it could be. I want it to succeed. It's not like I don't want it to succeed, but still, the NBA is always gonna
You're saying
be over the
you're saying
WNBA.
that there's no fandom, like there's no super cult like WNBA
Well,
followers.
well, yeah. Look, well, you bring it back to Magic and Larry Bird. The NBA has always had these things. The WNBA is barely getting some type of rivalry.
Yeah.
Like we've been having Jordan, Michael, Larry, every all these names. You know what I mean? Like there's so many names and so many superstars that people invested in themselves with. They're barely getting Clayton Clark and Angel Reese, and like that's the momentum that they need for it to transpire. But out of them two, who else are you talking about? Like there has to be other people that follow up as well.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, two people could carry a fucking league, Magic and
But
Bird.
not for long.
I know. Well, this is the beginning. I stand with the NBA over here in this pod. We stand for the NBA. Let's give them a round of applause. Beautiful ladies. God, those arrivals. Jeez. They look like models out there. But
See, but the way you coming off, it's like you're sounding sexist, and you're like, oh, they're hot and this and that. Like you're not talking about like
oh, you better believe
genuine,
it.
you know,
They're hot.
like it doesn't. Yeah, no, I agree, but
They hot and they can
that's
play.
when if someone else hears that, they're gonna be like, oh, he's just talking about their looks.
They
He's not talking
hot
about their game like that.
and they can play.
Outside of Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, who else do you look at that's a
I like
competitor?
Caitlin Clark's teammate. I think her name.
Doesn't
last
know her
is
name.
Boston something. She's good. Well, I just saw one game yesterday. I'm not claiming to be a WNBA fan.
No, it sounds like you are claiming to be that.
I love the girls though. That's for sure. Yep. Brandon, thoughts on that? Anything?
I guess for me, not really, because I don't really watch the WNBA. I've seen a lot of clips, seen a lot of like solid plays on these clips, but as far as me, like I don't know. It's like I feel like the WNBA is a good alternative, and they're competitive and they're still athletes at the end of the day, so I would never disrespect their talents. So, but as far as being entertaining to watch, I barely watch NBA as it is, so I mean I enjoy playing a lot, but I just have my mind focused on something other distractions, because that's what basketball, like professional basketball is, or professional sports is just a distraction. So
It's the
kudos to
Roman
them.
Coliseum.
Exactly right. Uh, kudos to them for marketing these two women very good, so that you have casuals like Michael over here wanting to talk about them.
Give him a round of applause. I am a casual. This is the home of the casual WNBA fan. Guys, thank you for listening. We appreciate you guys being here with us. This is a Monday. It's hot as fuck here. I think it was like 96 at some point. But I think tomorrow we might have better weather. So here's Mark with the weather report. What's there for tomorrow, Mark?
We're looking at the detail of today's power. So today, the lightning will not come, but there are more lightnings to come.
Thank you very much. Give him a round of applause. He says no lightning tomorrow, so expect sunny day.
Hey,
And,
but you know what? Mark owes me $15.
15 bucks plus interest.
Well, Mark's connected.
You know, as far as my acknowledgement, everything seems professional. You guys have a nice day.
Thank you guys. And with that, any closing thoughts, guys? We're just right under an hour at 59 and 40 seconds.
You already know what it is. If you want to check out any of my horror short films, you hit Enigma_Nova. Also, don't forget to check out the new website, Badass Logan Horror Films.
I was gonna just kind of give a closing statement. If anybody that's listening to this podcast and it is dealing with any type of drug problem or addiction, just know that things can get better and will get better. I do believe that if you put your faith in God first, these things will align themselves and you be self-aware of these things. I still believe, and I'll stand on it, that you have to have shame and fear about these things, but not to the point where it drives you crazy and you judge yourself over it. I had a coworker that smokes meth and he goes to work every single day. To him, he talks about being a functional, like some people say, a functioning alcoholic. But I told him myself personally, don't judge yourself for these things. If you're gonna get off of it, you will, and if you don't, then you don't. But you still have to have the self-awareness of these things so you can become a better person. Surrounding yourself with those people and being in these places is what keeps you in these things. And someone like me that's suffering from that as well, I look at myself and I understand that what I'm doing is not right, but I know it will get better. I was able to stop smoking weed in general, and I believe I can do this with this. It's just going to be a longer journey with this. Thank you, guys.
Let's give JC a round of applause. And yeah, guys, you know, this pod is I like to say it's half serious, half a joke, and I'm saying half comedy, half serious, half comedy. And by serious, I mean we do tackle real problems and real things people in their 30s are dealing with. Remember, guys, we're just another version of you, so feel free to interact with us. We're just like you guys. If you resonate with our content, make sure to give it a like and share, subscribe. We're looking to grow this podcast day by day. We want to be a part of your lives, so let us in, man. You already know it. The boys are back in town. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Bye.